Dear all, welcome back to Sweep with Serhan. It's been a long time I haven't posted any videos on YouTube, so today I will take time to post a video about one of the most important and the common interview question topic, which is a retain cycle. So it's important to understand what is a retain cycle, how we can avoid it. So by the end of this video, I hope you will get the better understanding and better idea what is retain cycle, how to explain it, and how to avoid falling this mistake. As you know, a retain cycle happens when two objects hold strong references to each other. So automatic reference counting cannot deallocate them, which leads a memory leak. Okay, so I will create a playground project for the first implementation, and we will have the second implementation. Let's create one retain cycle project. One playground project for the retain cycle. Interview. Okay, and save it as you wish. Save it on your desktop, anywhere you want. We don't want this greeting message from Apple. Okay, and we will have let's say class person with one variable inside, which is a string type, and we will have the initializer for this, and also we will have class apartment, it's not going to be string, it's going to be let unit, which unit they are living, actually, which it's indicating the door number or the flat number or whatever, but at this point it's not important. Let's say person is holding apartment type as a optional, and apartment is holding the person type as an optional. Okay, so we will have print to understand it better. Okay, we will have print to understand it better. We say name is initialized. Okay, and we will have d in it to check if this apartment is de-initialized. Actually, let's say unit de-initialized. Okay, instead of name this will be unit. Sorry about this. Okay, and also we'll have here print name initialized. It's gonna be like this: backslash parenthesis string interpolation is initialized. Okay, and then we will also have the init print name is the initialized. Okay, and obviously we will create these instances. This is apartment optional, this is person optional. So self.name, where we have the problem, name is okay. So this will be var, and this will also be var, because we have the optional type, and it can be changed on the runtime. So let's say we have a person with the person name John Doe. We have apartment an instance, let's say apartment with the unit of 4A. Okay, so here we don't have any problem. Okay, we instantiated our variables, and let's say we have person dot apartment is equal to apartment above, and apartment person is equal to person above instantiated. Okay, and then let's say this is person, no, sorry, yeah, we instantiated them. Okay, let's say we have John. Okay, and then sorry, it's gonna be here var person var apartment, but let's name it as John, and here is unit 4A, and then John apartment is equal to unit 4A, and unit 4A person is equal to John. So as you can see here, it's they both have holding reference to each other, and if we go and make it nil, and if you go and make them nil, and then when we run the project, let's run them. Let's see what's going on. Okay, these should be actually person optional, and this type should be apartment optional. Okay, good. So far our structure, let's say we have a two objects holding strong reference to each other. Okay, and then when we make them initial, you will see outcome will be basically initialized, but let's see if the initialized method will be called. As you can see, the initialized methods are not triggered. Okay, so here we have two objects holding strong reference to each other. Even after setting them nil here, okay, the init is not called. That means the objects are in the memory. Okay, objects are in the memory. So we have two ways of fixing this issue. Okay, so first way is to make this weak. Okay, so when we make this weak and when we run the project again, let's see what's gonna happen. I guess you are assuming what's gonna happen, but let's see. As you can see, marking a person in the apartment as a weak triggers the initialized methods. Okay, here John Doe is initialized, John Doe is initialized, 4A is initialized, and then both is deinitialized. Coming into the second fix, which is more approachable, I mean more better way to fix it. Here it's better to have not to have the instance of the person at all. Okay, and basically let's comment this out. When we have the John's apartment is 4A, so it's a one-way having the reference. So person has the apartment instant initialized, and then they are both set to nil, and this is the second fix. Let's run and see at this point what's happening again. As you can see, now both objects are deinitialized, and automatic reference counting is 0, and both objects are not in the memory. So far so good. I hope you did understand this short example. I just wanted to show you the why can it happen. It's very rare case actually. We're gonna have the we will have this mostly on the UIKit. On the UIKit, we will have these closures, old way of developing network calls, strong references. But before going to the second example, I would like to take time to make an explanation about the second fix that we did. It's a better approach. Instead of fixing the retain cycle with the weak references, we can redesign the ownership. So we gave the ownership in one way. If only person needs to know about the apartment should not also reference the person. Okay, that is our fix. So this removes the possibility of the retain cycle entirely. In many cases, redesigning ownership is a cleaner than using weak reference. Okay, just keep this in mind as a side note. So we will create a new application. Let's create a new project for UIKit. It's gonna be iOS application. Next, and retain cycle interview. You can name it as this. We will select the storyboard. I know it's an old way, but I wanted to focus on how retain cycle is happening, why ARC is increasing but not decreasing, and then the objects are not released from the memory. Okay, let's create this and save it to the desktop. Okay, so this is our view controller. Okay, and let's run the project to see. We have the view controller here with the storyboard. So when we run the project here on the simulator, we can see we have an empty view controller. Okay, we will have a very small implementation programmatically for this view controller, since it's not the case or concept of this video. I will have very ready code for you. As you can see, we have the first view controller and we have the go detail button. We have an action. We add a target to our button, and it will be pushed to view controller, detail view controller. Without further ado, let's create a new not new file. Actually, it's not gonna be new file, sorry. Let's move this to trash. Let's say we want new file from template. Okay, it's gonna be Cocoa Touch class. We will have detail view controller. Here as a type subclass, it's gonna be view controller, and we're gonna create the XIB also. Okay, and click next and create. We will have here an empty view controller for now. We'll come to the implementation. If you run the project again, we will not see that much, but I will create a class which will mock the data service like a network call. Okay, so let's say we have a new empty file and it's gonna be data service. Okay, we'll have final class data service, and we're gonna have the here var on complete. We'll have the closure definition void. Okay, so it's gonna be optional. Let's import here foundation, and let's run our project to see if we are correctly pushing and popping in between the view controllers. Launching. As you can see, we have the go to detail button here at the center of the view controller, and when we click, nothing is happening. The reason why, because we didn't wrap this view controller into navigation view controller. Okay, so here I waited for to load. We have and view. We used to have the embed in navigation controller. Okay, so when we run the project again, we will be able to now to push to detail view controller. It's important to understand. Actually, it's been a long time. I'm not using UIKit application. I'm not developing any applications with the UIKit, but it's a good practice for me as well. Now when we launch the application again, we will be able to see the go to detail button, and we will be able to push to the next screen. Let's wait it for to run and show the button. So now our main view controller is ready, and when we push, we can see back button is appearing, so we can push and pop. Okay, so what we're gonna do is in the detail view controller, actually we will add the code. Okay, so we'll have here private let data service. We will have data service instantiated here. We will have private func update UI. Okay, and we will have private func load data. It's gonna call data service on complete, and self dot we're gonna trigger self dot update UI. Okay, and then we will print UI is updated. Okay, and then we will have deinit method to check whether our view controller is deinitialized or not. Detail view controller deinitialize. Okay, I'm trying to pay attention about the typo as well. Let's give it a title, detail, and let's give it let's trigger load data. Okay, so we will trigger the load data, and when this is called, it will be triggered. The update UI updated message here will be triggered. And one more thing, I would like to give a background color to this view background color system blue. Okay, let's run the project and push it and pop it and see whether this deinit method is called or not. Okay, let's run the project again. When we click on go to detail, you can see now the detail page is shown. When we click on back, actually this UI, this detail view controller should be deallocated from the memory. Let's see if that's the case. When we call in the console, you see nothing is written, so nothing is printed, so our view controller is not deinitialized, so it's in the memory. Okay, So normally when we push back, as I said, this view controller should be deallocated, and if you see the console, nothing is written. So that means we have a memory leak. So explanation about this situation: the view controller holds the service, okay? It holds this service, okay? And the service holds the closure. The service holds the closure, and the closure captures self. This closure captures self update UI strongly. So this is the issue. So what we're gonna do for the fixing? Okay, we need to have the weak self in. So we are having this closure. We are telling this closure to hold the weak instance of the instance of this view controller, and since it is weak, it becomes optional. Okay, so let's run the project again and see if we are succeed. Okay, when we click on go to detail, and when we pop from this view, we should be able to see now the view controller, detail view controller deinitialized. Okay, this is our fix. This is where actually retain cycle happens. If we don't capture, okay, if we don't capture weak reference, actually if we don't say the closure instance to capture weak reference of the this view controller, always it will be in the memory, as I explained. So this is good to understand and explain it to the in the interviews. Okay, this is actually the where retain cycle happens. Okay, so to sum up, retain cycles most commonly happens in closures, async operations, combined pipelines, and delegates. Okay, as you know, we have delegates in all way of implementation. So we need to every time ask ourselves, are we capturing the self strongly? Okay, so a retain cycle. So when we come to the explanation of this specific issue, retain cycle is a memory management issue. So where two objects hold strongly reference to each other, preventing ARC from deallocating them. It commonly happens in closures capturing self, and fix it using weak or unowned reference. We can also have unowned here. Unowned. Okay, so when we use the unowned, we are saying to the compiler that we are sure when we pop this view controller, the instance will not be in the memory, and then the automatic reference counter can deallocate this object from the memory. So when we use the unowned, we need to be more careful, because now, as you can see, when we change from weak to unowned, now we remove the optional parameter from here, which means we are sure when we are when we are popping back to the main view controller, this closure or this instance of the detail view controller will not be in the memory, so the app will not crash. Okay, so it's important to understand this unowned self as well. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to cover a short information for you, short topic for you to understand the retain cycles. I hope I will be taking a series about the common interview questions. Firstly, I wanted to pick this topic. Also, I'm writing articles on Medium. If you are interested in reading my Medium articles, you can find the link down below in the description box. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope see you soon.